Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Linda Weisinger. I'm the Executive Director here at Pawtucket Central Falls Development Corporation. Pawtucket Central Falls Development Corporation, also known as PCF Development, is a nonprofit affordable housing developer. We're a community-based organization, and we've been developing affordable housing for over 30 years in Pawtucket and Central Falls. So I want to welcome everyone today on this exciting day and a big announcement for first-time homebuyers in Rhode Island. So we're excited to have this press conference today. I wanted to talk a little bit about PCF development and specifically some of the barriers that first-time homebuyers face when it comes to purchasing a home. Right now, the lack of affordable housing inventory is a significant barrier to advancing sustainable homeownership. The current real estate market is hotter than ever. I think we all know the cost of real estate is out of touch and out of not affordable for many buyers in this market. Right now in Rhode Island, the single family median price in January 22 was $375,000 for a single family house. And a multifamily house at the end of 2021 was $365,000 for a two-family house. Today, we stand in a property that PCF Development has developed in support with funding that we received from the state of Rhode Island, from City of Pawtucket, and also from Rhode Island Housing. So together, we are standing in 68 Middle Street, which is a two-family house. So this house will be sold to a first-time home buyer, an owner-occupant, an income-qualified buyer. The sales price for this house is $269,000. So that's really affordable. When we know that the median income for a two-family, median sales price for a two-family house is over $365,000. So to be able to provide homeownership opportunities for first-time home buyers is something that is our mission. It's what we do as an organization. Fortunately, there are groups like PCF Development in the state who are creating affordable homeownership opportunities, and we're developing single-family houses. We have two-family houses. We also have condominiums that we have for sale. So together, we're creating a variety of homeownership opportunities that individuals and households are looking to purchase. What's exciting is of these 5 houses that you see and that you stand in now, the first house we sold a month ago next door at 78 Middle Street. This house is scheduled to close next week. So we're closing with another first-time home buyer next week, and then the house, the third house, we are closing next month. So we typically pre-sell our houses early stages of construction, which is really exciting. But recognizing, again, one of the barriers in this state that many buyers are facing are the fact that the significant down payment that's required to purchase houses. So we'll talk a little bit more about the new down payment program that's starting, that we'll be introducing. Let's see. And then in addition to developing affordable housing, PCF Development is a HUD-approved counseling agency. We have a robust homeownership program, which really focuses on education as one of our primary pillars of the program. And we graduate over 150 prospective homebuyers a year through our bilingual program. So that's 150 each year, and we graduate over 750 potential buyers from our program just in the past several years. Our clients for our program represent a diverse set of backgrounds, and majority, 80%, identify as families of color, individuals of color. Since 2016, 80% of our 750 graduates identify as Black or Latinx. So the number of Spanish-speaking households represents over 60% of our 60% of our participants identify as Hispanic. So one thing we recognize, there's a clear disparity in this state when it comes to the availability and accessibility of homeownership programs for first-time home buyers and families of color specifically. And we know that homeownership creates generational wealth and it creates housing stability. So together, when we talk about programs that we'll talk about today, when we talk about affordable housing, it really comes down to 2 parts, which ties in accessibility and affordability. We can't talk all day long about affordability, but if we don't have houses that families can buy, then families are priced out of the market. So programs like PCF Development provide this homeownership opportunity for families in the community to be able to stay in the community, buy in the community, and own a piece of real estate. So, as I mentioned, one of the largest barriers to home ownership is the down payment. This new program will eliminate that as a barrier and provide assistance to prospective home buyers. The $25,000 down payment could be nearly 10% of the median sales price of a property for a single-family house. So one thing that we want to highlight again is the pre-purchase home buyer education component, which educates buyers before they ever purchase a house. So again, graduating 750 participants in our program over the last few years. We know that an educated buyer is a stable homeowner, and that really leads to success and housing stability in the community. So just to kind of give a little perspective on PCFD and who we are and give context to this property, we will be offering tours after the event upstairs, so please stay tuned for that. And I want to start by introducing the Honorable Governor of the State of Rhode Island, Dan McKee, and Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for your work. Very important messaging that you're delivering there, and delivering a lot of hope to families as well. And I would just say quickly a personal story that is real is that I did coach a lot of basketball, and coming from different economic circumstances, certainly different communities. And two of the young kids that I coached, one of them bought a home about 6 or 7 years ago, and one of them, the brothers, was renting, right, and raising their family, and just recently the young man that bought his home just sold his home and brought a great deal of equity out of that home, 6-figure equity out of his home, and now actually bought a home in my hometown of Cumberland. So it's real, all right. And his brother actually just bought a home that he was renting for all those years, and now he's going to build up equity as well. But you just saw the comparison between being able to build up equity in a family and the one who's renting and still raising the family, doing what they're supposed to be doing. But home ownership is really a key for all of us, certainly a key for my family as well, in terms of having the ability to send our kids to college. I was just talking about somebody that, we use our line of credit to pay our college tuitions for our kids. Well, if you don't have a line of home, you don't have the ability to do the line of credit. So I want to just thank you for your leadership, and I'm really pleased to be here today with Lieutenant Governor Matos, along with Mayors Grevy and Rivera. Thank you for your leadership on this issue, a very important one, and we certainly share the objective of helping people earn more money and to save more money. And so you're champions in your communities. And being here in Pawtucket, we could be here in Center Falls as well, but today is an important step for the residents of all Rhode Islanders, but also Pawtucket and Center Falls with your leadership, who want to own homes, and that we've set it up in a way where they can afford to own a home, and afford to be able to pay the mortgage payments. When did you think that you could have a 30-year mortgage at 3%? Oh my God. I don't want to even tell you how far back I go, and that was not the case. Trust me, there was all, we had to use very creative strategies as we were starting to earn a living to do it. But 3% on 30 years, that opens up a lot of doors, doesn't it? And what we're going to be announcing today, in terms of getting General Assembly support, that only makes it more possible. So I want to recognize my administration's team, especially Commerce Secretary Stephen Pryor, who's been working on this, Deputy Secretary of Housing Josh Saul, and Carol Ventura from the Rhode Island Housing. Thank you, Carol, for your leadership here. Many of you have heard me say this before. If we expect our sons and daughters to live in Rhode Island, how can we expect them to be here unless they can afford to live here and to have a future and to have the ability to earn a living here? So that means housing is really important. And whether it's supporting from the spectrum, from homelessness all the way up to fair market value, the state of Rhode Island needs a housing plan. We're asking the General Assembly to appropriate dollars to allow us to put a good housing plan together that really talks about all the spectrums, all 39 cities and towns, in terms of how we can actually move in a situation where there's higher levels of homeownership. Historically, we've underinvested in housing. We are experiencing a housing shortage, in part because too few units have been built over several years. In 2020 alone, we built fewer units per capita than any other state in New England. That's something that we need to be number one. We're number one now in vaccinations. We know that in the country. We're number one in reopening our economy in the Northeast. Why not, search for excellence in every area and every aspect? Hi, Stefan. How are you? I don't know if you just walked in, but thank you. Okay. And there's too many Rhode Islanders who have not had the opportunity to buy their own home. In fact, did you know that Rhode Island has one of the lowest home ownership rates in the country? Largely because families and individuals cannot afford the down payment. So we're here today to close that wealth gap and knock down barriers and inequities that have existed for too long, that have prevented families from pursuing homeownership. This is an important move today. As a former realtor in my earlier life too, I understand the difficulties of getting approved and to getting into that first home. Once you get in that first home, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to move on. So it builds generational wealth, and that's why we're so excited to announce this down payment assistance program, so we can open those doors for first-generation home buyers in Rhode Island. And this program is just the start. In my 2023 budget, with assistance from many people and many individuals, our proposal includes $50 million to provide down payment assistance to Rhode Island households who need it most. And for those who understand that $50 million is going to get leveraged into hundreds of millions of dollars worth of property. That's the point. How to take dollars that you have and leverage them in a way where you make a significant difference in terms of, in this case, home ownership for first-time home buyers. And I've said it before that housing crisis is one of our top priorities. It is shared by both the House leadership with Speaker Sakachi, along with the Senate leadership with President Ruggiero, and of course with all our municipal leaders around the state of Rhode Island, and all the support systems that we have in people who have been at this for years. And I think that you're just chopping at the bit, Carol, right, to kind of make this stuff happen, right? Yes, absolutely. So we need to increase the availability and the quality of housing in Rhode Island, and oftentimes we immediately think of rental assistance and other programs that help get people into affordable housing. Rental programs are still very important, but we no longer can be that state as trailing the other states in terms of home ownership, and providing a path into home ownership that makes sure that they can sustain themselves between the economic upsides and the economic downturns. We know that we ran across in 2008 several people who probably shouldn't have been in the home ownership, couldn't sustain themselves. That's why I'm so happy that you got education going on in this process, and educating people about how to be a landlord as much as being a homeowner, right? I could have used those courses way back when I was buying some property way back when. But what about helping Rhode Islanders achieve this dream? A goal of owning their own home. And that is where this program is going to really pay big dividends. I'm proud to have launched this pilot program with Rhode Island Housing and all of our state, local, and community partners, and I'm looking forward to its progress in helping Rhode Islanders own their first home, invest in their financial success, invest in their family's financial success, and provide that stability and wealth for their family members down the line. So thank you for having me here today, and looking forward for making this program a reality by some General Assembly support, right? That's what we're going to need now. So we all work hard, everybody in this room and beyond this room, to make that happen. I promise you that this is going to be a very successful program for thousands of people that live in the state of Rhode Island and their generations that follow as well. So thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Governor. Next, we have Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you to announce this very important program that is going to be helping to change the life of so many individuals in the state of Rhode Island. This is a program that for all of those individuals that have dreamed of being homeowners, that never thought they could do it, that never thought there was an opportunity for them to have ownership, because one of the big barriers is to have a down payment that they can afford to buy their property. So this program is the key part of that puzzle that are going to make it possible for them to be able to buy a house. And when you own a house, there's so many things that are influence homeownership and that have a ripple effect on the quality of life of the individuals of the state of Rhode Island, of the United States. A lot of individuals have been suffering because they have to move too often. It could be because the property that they have been renting, they're raising their rent, and they're not able to keep up with the rent rising costs going every month. But once they become a homeowner, that gives them stability, and that also translates on stability for the students, because they don't have to be moving from one school district to another, from one school to another, because they finally have a stable place to be and a stable place to live. Imagine the impact that has on a mother that has been living in a small apartment, maybe a one-bedroom apartment with their kids, and finally is able to buy a house like this one that have 2 or 3 bedrooms available, and have finally that peace of mind and that quiet moment. And many of us, our parents, know sometimes you have the extra room, but the kids still sleep with you, right? So we go through that. But the peace of mind of knowing that they finally have a home, have a place that is quiet, that their kids are going to be safe, that they're going to have a house that they're going to be responsible for making sure that it's safe and healthy. They're not living in an apartment that someone maybe is not maintaining, that is creating a health hazard for their children because of mold or because of lead. So this is this pilot program is a great demonstration that we can have in place and to continue our advocacy with the state General Assembly. And as I have Senator Cano is here with us on double duty. So we're going to switch her hat, and we're going to start advocating for the program to make it permanent also. So we're going to ask the General Assembly to support the governor's budget that is proposing a down payment assistance as part of the historic in the state of Rhode Island. For the first time, we have a $250 million dedicated to housing. So with that, I just want to say thank you, and I'm looking forward to continue to advocate to make this program a permanent program in the future, but I always like pilots.